Hey guys, my name is Nicole Vargas, and today I'm going to explain to you some differences between quantitative and qualitative purpose statements. So if you're anything like me when you're starting to explore a complicated concept that you don't know much about, it makes it easier to understand when you understand what it is not. Therefore, in order to better understand qualitative purpose statements, I decided to look at the difference between quantitative and qualitative purpose statements. So what I did is I made this presentation, and every time I used either of those words, I color coded them. So for me, I chose green for quantitative because I think quantity, green, I think money. It'd be nice to have a nice high quantity of money. So quantitative, I'll think green. Versus qualitative, I chose this aqua blue color. I think going to the beach, the nice quality water, when it is aqua blue like this, that makes me think it's high quality, right? I want to be there. I want to go swimming in that ocean. So those are just simple ways for me to understand and to keep these differences in mind as I explore this new concept. So in both quantitative and qualitative inquiry, we're going to use purpose statements. So the purpose statement basically just alerts your audience to the major direction of your study. So of course, writing an effective purpose statement is going to take a lot of thought and planning. But before you can write your purpose statement, you have to understand how they're used for both quantitative and qualitative studies so that you can understand which best fits what your study is going to be. So today, what I'm going to do is just go over the 5 major differences between quantitative and qualitative. So this is difference number 1. You'll see on all of these slides, you'll have some visuals, some funny memes or GIFs, just to get you to remember the difference between the two. So the first difference is hypotheses. Quantitative is going to use hypotheses because researchers are going to test these hypotheses using statistics. But you may or may not know that qualitative research doesn't use statistics, therefore hypotheses would not be used either. So if you are not a math person like me, you're thinking, math? No, not at all. So when I think of the movie The Hangover, you'll see up at the top, that looks like nothing to him, all these stats, figures, variables flying across the screen. That is not what something that would be qualitative would look like. So moving on to the second difference, we have variables, and similar to hypotheses, quantitative inquiry is going to use variables. So what we're doing is we're aiming to identify and measure those variables. Whereas in qualitative inquiry, we're just going to gather information on a single concept that we call the central phenomenon. Again, you'll see you have some visuals to the left. The third major difference is theories. Again, like the first two, quantitative is going to use theories because we're going to test those theories to predict the results from related variables, the aforementioned variables. So in qualitative inquiry, we're not going to use theories because what we'll do is we're going to ask participants in a study to share their ideas, and then from their ideas, from their responses, we can build general themes, and that's where we'll move forward with our research in qualitative. The fourth difference between the two is change. So contrary to the first 3 differences, quantitative inquiry does not like change, whereas qualitative, you can be expected to see change. The reason that is because qualitative researchers take a more open-ended approach so that that central phenomenon can really emerge throughout that research. So you can expect to see the central phenomenon change, and that's absolutely fine in qualitative research. The last difference is going to be the groups surveyed or studied. So in quantitative, it's absolutely acceptable and expected to use 2 or more groups to study and measure the changes over time in relation to the variables that you're testing. Versus in qualitative research, we're not going to compare groups or relate variables. So what we'll do is we'll just better explore the views of one group or of multiple individuals. So I hope that those 5 major differences help break down the difference between the two. Lastly, it's important to remember that if you cannot hit the quan, then stick to qual. That's it. I hope that helps. Good luck in your studying.